With the increased competition from globalization, it has become necessary for artists to develop competences through education in order to ensure the continuity and survival of this art form.
Music, like I say, keeps people together, you know? And if you could teach the young people at an early age about music, not only just playing music, but the elements and sound of music, it will help to instill some discipline in them, because as you know, music is a discipline subject, you know. You see, you got to be able to read. Because you see, when the fellas come in, you must have had this experience when Sparrow and them come here. They ain't got no time to rehearse for no hours or loads of things, you know. You walk with the music and they give it to you. And you got to read the music and interpret it and play it when they're singing. They ain't got no time to sit down for hours and so on. But if you're not able to read music, that's a disadvantage.
It is.
You know, very serious disadvantage. Just hitting a beat is not really music, you know. Again, the level of noise should be cut out, because you get what we call reverberating sounds coming back, which distorts the music. And by educating them in all these little areas, I think it will assist. They've got to pay attention to people who have knowledge about music and talk to them from time to time. And like I say, some people are very talented. They hear something and they're able to go and sing it or play it. But if you show them the same thing, they don't know, you know. And I'm saying that what is going on in the schools with the steel band and so on, I believe that you need somebody to supervise. Because most of the fellows who are teaching, some of them don't really read music, don't really read music, you understand? So you need somebody to overlook that, to make sure that they're on the right track, you know?
Now that I'm employed at the Department of Culture, I have the responsibility of going out and going to the schools and trying to pass on this art form, this vital art form, to the kids in the schools, and to make sure that we have it around for a long time. Also do workshops in terms of going to summer camps and doing workshops with the kids at the summer camps. Now, out of the school program, we created the National Youth Drum Corps. So that's 20 of the best kids from all the schools that they go to keep that, keep that fire burning and keep the art form alive. I also work with church groups and try to get drumming, if not that's the style of drumming what we do, but for drummers, to create drummers for that occasion in church, where they could accompany the choir or whatever activity that they're having. So I try to spread it around, not only to schools and our communities and stuff like that, but also into the churches.
A lot more teachers. Now, Gary Knight is much younger than I am, because I actually taught Gary at one stage. But he's one of the teachers that are around now. And we do need a lot more teachers. I've been trying to encourage some of my students to teach.
To tell you the truth, one needs to consider that the training that we did here doing the ABRSM exams, the Associated Board exams, is formal training within itself. So I started and I just continued. I did up to my grade 8 exams, and in in my last 2 years or my last year, it probably was 2 years, and this is after I had left school and Maureen Pennyfeather had left. I completed my last 2 years with Pamela Wall, doing my grade 7 and 8, or if it was my last year, then it was my grade 8. I can't really recall. But I had also done, I was one of the first persons, if not the first, but I stand corrected if I'm not informed properly, to do the Cambridge O-level music, which really is a very intense, program. And I did that with Maureen Pennyfeather. And then in my final year, I did the A-level music with Pamela Wall. And it's really, like I said, it's really very involved. It's basically almost the content or the qualification of an associate degree. And of course, between that two, I also did what the Associated Board called general musicianship exams from time to time. So that when I did decide to go off to pursue music, and I went to CVI, which is College of the Virgin Islands, back in 1981, to do an associate degree, because that was all that they had at the time. I had to do very little musically. I basically just did because the O-level and the A-level music background covered the associate degree. And that is why I ended up now transferring out of CVI and going on to Indiana University.
Upon my return home in 1969, I started to play in church at once, but demands were made on me in another area. I took my first scholar, who is now one of the organists at Olivet Gospel Hall, and so the Lawrence School of Music was started. I'm a music teacher. I train and enter students for exams with the Royal Schools of Music in London in theory and the pianoforte playing. As I mentioned before, the school produces a concert every year, and proceeds are given to the church, and we also support worthy causes in the community. Some of the causes to which the music school has contributed include the Children's Home, the Harris's Home for Juvenile Offenders, the Special Education Unit for Children with Disabilities, Project Strong, also the Cardin Home for Senior Citizens. We also give help to persons in need. And this is so funny. After there was a fire in Old Road, and we were asked to help a man who had lost everything. Now this man, he plays in a string band, and all he wanted was a guitar, because the guitar was the means by which he made his living. So we took him to the store and bought him a guitar, and so he was so happy, because he said that was good, because he had an engagement in 3 nights coming, so he was able to go and fill in his join the band. And I've seen him since, and he's still with the band. And so things like that, like that we do.
Most definitely, I am happy with most of my accomplishments. What I want to say is that most of my knowledge and development came from self and interest. I had a very serious hunger for music and to learn. But I started formal music in the military band at 12 years old. And one of the things that was at a crucial disadvantage was the part of music that would be called technical development. That was lacking in my time, but I was fortunate enough to be sitting next to a very seasoned musician named Ivan Cowan. Another one, Errol Maynard. These were the guys that I relied on heavily as a 12-year-old to develop some aspect of technical development. But by and large, it was not part of what was taught to the young musicians then. As a result, I believe that we came up short. Musicians back then, horn players particularly, came up short in many areas, which is totally different from the piano culture in the country. Because I mean, but which was mostly geared towards classical. But what happened from the military band, there was the offspring towards, or the spring off towards playing pop music band. You know, you have Element and the Jazz Brass, that Valmar is back in the day, you had Grand Dash, Earthstone, and all of these players had something to do, came to the military band. But I went off on a binge, trying to learn what I could, as much as I could, that I did not necessarily get in the Defense Force. My passion in music is composition, you know, to be a composer, an arranger, you know. So I went off, spent a lot of time learning these the rudiments of that particular aspect of music. And as a result, I developed a technique for teaching music, which is totally different to the conventions, the way music is normally taught. And I have got excellent results. That is one of my own, which was really held in Binghamton University that I attended. Faculty in the music department and the students, they were all excited about my approach to music and the results that I got, you know, from it.